righty, we are recording.
So there's no inner peace in this show, so you're totally fine.
So we've started off properly.
Yes, exactly.
All right. I love this.
Welcome to Steps to the Stage, Inland Empire, where we talk to the community theater professionals from the vibrant Inland Empire theater community.
Welcome to Steps to the Stage. My name is Kirk Lane, and I'll be your host today. We'll be talking with the theater professionals you know and love. We're really excited because today is actually our premiere episode of what we're going to be calling Steps to the Stage Inland Empire, or Steps to the Stage IE. As you all know, we're primarily have been covering productions at the local theater in Chino, 7th Street, but we've also expanded into our drama department. We want to give some more love to the whole theater community in the Inland Empire because it is thriving and has been thriving for long before I came along. And so we're really hoping that now as we expand into some of the other theaters within the Inland Empire, we can get some more involvement and we can learn some more about theater and really just get people out to see these amazing live productions at multiple different theaters and venues throughout the Inland Empire. So today we're really excited because we are at the Riverside Community Players venue, and we have a really cool, because I'm just finding out before we got on the air that this is something that really it's an Agatha Christie production, Towards Zero, and it hasn't really been out there that much. Am I getting that correct?
You are correct.
All right. With us, we have Chris, who is our director. We have Veronique, who is part of the cast. And we have Emma, who is part of the cast. And we're going to be talking about this amazing production today, as well as a little bit about this theater. Chris, I know you've done some productions here before. Why don't you give us a little bit of an intro to the Riverside Theater?
Well, I've only been working with the Riverside Community Players for a small fraction of their existence. This is actually the 101st, if you can believe it.
101st?
101.
Season.
Yes, 101st season that they've been here. And it's really quite amazing. They have been a mainstay of the Inland Empire for generations. So I'm so pleased to be able to kick off their next century.
That is pretty crazy to think. And I know that some of the other local theaters have had a couple decades of productions, but to think this is the 101st season is very, very impressive. So, that's great. And I'm sure we're going to do some more episodes here and we're going to learn more. Maybe we'll do a special episodes with some of the people that work here directly and that are part of it, and we can learn some more of the history. But right now, Chris has been a part of our podcast for, oh my gosh, at least 5 or 6 episodes at this point.
I think so, yeah.
So Chris thought it would be a great idea for us to start Steps to the Stage doing some episodes here. We said 100%, that's great. So here we are. This is Agatha Christie. This is Towards Zero. We want to hear more about it.
Well, one of the things, speaking of the theater, that they are known for is they do a lot of Agatha Christie here. They do a lot of murder mysteries in general, but Agatha Christie, of course, is the queen of them. So they have done a lot of her plays over the years. And one thing they wanted to do for their 101st season was to do a season of entirely new shows, at least as far as new shows to their theater, because they repeat shows, over,
right.
Their audience favorites and stuff like that people request.
Their last season, the 100th season, was the last 100th season was a retrospective. So this is a kind of a spin on they did shows they've done
love
before.
That.
Yeah, they let their patrons kind of choose.
That's great.
Their season of past shows that they've
intentional,
done.
Though.
Yes.
And that's great. And you're paying homage to those that have been here before, and then bringing new stuff on now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, starting a new century, new shows. So they wanted to do a season of that. And they know Agatha Christie is popular, but what are they going to do? They've pretty much done everything she's written. But I actually brought this play to one of the board members, and I said, did you know this play had actually only recently been discovered in the past decade? And it was, I'll try to give a quick history of it because it's rather tortured.
Yeah.
But the Schuberts, the Schubert brothers, I think they are the famous producers for Broadway.
Right.
Back in the day, we're talking the 1940s, so we're talking World War II era. And Agatha Christie's very, very popular novelist.
Right.
And she had her first Broadway hit, which was And Then There Were None in New York.
Okay.
And it was produced by the Schuberts. And they wanted to have a follow-up.
Okay.
So they actually commissioned her to write this script, which was based on her current popular novel, Toward Zero, at the time.
Wow.
That was getting a lot of good reviews and, very popular. So they commissioned this script and they did a tryout production in Martha's Vineyard. So this is actually the only Agatha Christie play to actually make its debut in the United States.
Wow.
They usually start in England and then they may transfer over to Broadway, which is what And Then There Were None did.
Right.
But this is the first one that actually made its debut here. And just strangely, it just kind of vanished after its initial production. The Schuberts apparently wanted some tweaks before it went to Broadway.
Right.
They had asked Agatha Christie to come to America and perhaps work with them.
Yeah.
Why it never happened, she never got there. It was the end of the war.
Okay.
So
could have had a bit of a factor.
Travel, was not easy.
Yes.
Necessarily at that time. So, and she was also very, very popular novelist. So she had so many things going on. So, it never got produced on Broadway. The script just kind of went back into the archive. Their option lapsed on it. So it never got produced by them. And it just kind of got lost. And another author years later did an adaptation of his own of Toward Zero, and that kind of became the standard version of it. If anybody did the show, it was his version of it.
And so when that happened, was Agatha still around? Does she need to approve what was happening?
Yeah.
Or her foundation or whoever were
they would have needed to approve that. So it is kind of strange, why she didn't say, well, I already have my own script.
Such a popular name. It's surprising that it doesn't have.
Yes. And it's funny because this title has actually recently become a bit more known because there's a BBC BritBox series of it that just came out with Angelica Houston and a few more prominent people. And I haven't watched it yet because I kind of want to keep myself pure for this. Don't want to be influenced. And I know they pad it out because it's like 4 episodes or something like that. So it's longer. But I believe they keep pretty close to the story. So, we're excited about that. Because it really has only just recently been available for theater companies to produce. So there really are very few people that have seen this actual
Definitely it's not been done in the Inland Empire.
No, not that I know of. I think in Long Beach recently they might have done a production of this, but it was not this particular Agatha Christie script. Because one of the things that's interesting about this particular version, the other version is set inside in like a drawing room, kind of typical what you think of like British, drawing room, they're drinking tea, somebody drops over dead. But this is set outdoors. The whole play is set outdoors. It's on a cliffside, overlooking Easterhead Bay and this hotel across the way. It's called Gull's Nest. Gull's Nest is the name of this big home that's on the cliff. And so it's very evocative. It's very atmospheric. So I'm really hoping that, one of the things I neglected to say about Riverside Community Players is it's in the round.
Yeah.
So it's one of the few theaters in the area. I don't know of any other theaters close by.
Redlands could technically be it, but it's more
Footlighters. Yeah, they're more of a stadium kind of setup. But this is completely in the round. So we don't have a lot of opportunities for set.
Got it.
So we're going to try to do as much as we can in other ways. But that is one thing about this theater. It's in the round and it's very intimate. Like if you sit in watch one of these shows, you almost feel like you're on stage with the actors. It's not that it shouldn't scare anybody. You're not actually on stage with the actors, but it is a very intimate experience. And so if you like kind of theater like that, where you're not like miles away from, and you can really see everything and all their expressions and everything like that, it's a great theater.
Sounds like a wonderful playground for an actor.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, why don't we talk with our two friends that are with us here today and get a little bit on their background as well as their involvement on the current production we're discussing, Towards Zero. Emma.
Wow, I don't even know what to say, but with Riverside, I wanted to comment that like I think it's the most immersive. And recently I've been doing a lot of immersive productions, so like to have that in the community theater in the Inland Empire, I think it's a great thing to do, and especially gives the guests a look inside. Like, you know how Chris described it, we don't make a set, but with how this theater is and with how we have the direction and a great crew, we like this place has become so many things.
Yeah.
But with my background, I would say like I've been doing this for a few years, almost 10.
Yeah.
Actually, no, 10. I lied. I started 17. And I've actually, my first show here was an Agatha Christie. Appointment with Death was the first one I did, which actually, interestingly enough, I think is kind of brings some similarities to this one, which I really enjoy. I would tell the audience for this show, come and be really surprised that, you know, even though it may not have the famous Perot, but it has such great characters, and it really, she lends each character to their development.
Okay.
And even though it is
especially with these two that I have here today, they have two of the juiciest parts in the show, and because they shared the same man.
Yes.
Yes.
We are technically both strange.
Technically.
But yeah.
You should explain that, perhaps.
Yes. So
that's their name.
Yes, it's our name. I play the character Kay Strange, which I am the second wife to Neville Strange.
Okay.
And
would you say maybe he was the Tiger Woods of his day?
There is a little bit of golf in here, so
juicy.
He's famous. His character is famous.
Yes.
So
a little bit of golf. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and perhaps a little bit of cheating. You know, that
womanizer
may have happened. So
maybe a little bit of overlap.
He's a very he's a rather well known sports figure. Who kind of almost all around. You know, he does all sorts of things. But anyway, Kay is his second wife. And Veronique plays Audrey, his first wife, and he's trying to bring them together to be friends.
Wonderful.
And why would he want to do that?
Well,
what?
Why would anybody want to?
Why would they?
Yeah. Especially with these two. Kay is
a cat.
Talk about Kay a little bit, maybe, Emma, because she's interesting.
Yes, Kay is very interesting. She is very stubborn. She's a strong-headed woman who knows what she wants.
Okay.
And regardless of whoever is married to her, in charge of her, she will get her way, and she knows that. But you get to kind of see in this show a bit of, I would say, a breakdown of all of that. I think what's really interesting about this show, again, is looking at this from like a psychology point of view. There's such meaty, juicy characters in that she made them well-rounded. I think a lot of characters sometimes are very one note. This is them, and a lot of people can just be like, okay, well, she's like the villain or he's the hero. This one is very leveled. And with Kay, I believe she's young, but she's smarter than I think most people think she is.
Okay.
And she may put on more of a facade than we give her credit for. I really adore this character. She can be a lot of fun, but she can be really serious at times. But she can be caring as well. I think a lot of people, when they see the show, I want them to go on the journey with her, because there's a lot that she has to grow up and go through. But I think, especially back in those times, women, we knew our place, or we felt a certain way about who we were, and the housewife or this or that. But I think even these two characters, you kind of see the heart of them, that I think a lot of people, like a lot of characters that I've seen like recently in murder mysteries, you just kind of see like I said, a one note.
Mm-hmm.
But Agatha Christie does such a good job in getting to the meaning of these characters and why they're in, like what conflicts are in, and giving them a purpose.
Beyond just as suspects.
Yes. Yeah. Because,
I think the character's in good hands, because I've known you for a number of years, and I've seen several of your productions.
Yes.
And so I'm very excited to see this production, and to see you at a different theater, because all of the times I've seen you have been at the 7th Street.
Yes.
And I know you've done work at some of the other theaters as well, too.
I've done,
right?
yes. Technically, my first production was actually at Rialto Community Theater.
Okay.
It was a production of Little Shop of Horrors. I was ensemble, but I loved it, and it was so much fun. And then I got into farce, which was extremely fun.
Yes.
I love
several of the productions I've seen have been farce
just a
that
little,
you've been on. So,
a little funny.
But I know our character's in good hands, and I've known you for a while, and I appreciate you giving us that insight. But this is our first time that we've been able to meet, so I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey to your character.
Oh, well, boy, my journey to my character, I mean, I've loved acting since I was little, and I've started my community theater career in 2017 at this theater with
Wonderful.
Dracula. And that was very fun. I got to be British, and that's my heart's content. I've done a few things at Redlands, one at Rialto, and mostly here. I really enjoy this round. Everyone asks me about trying film. I don't like film. I don't like the camera. But I do feel like this theater is as close as you can get to being on stage as what it feels like to be on film, because it is so intimate.
I love that. I love that description. And so I would love to hear about some of the other characters, or more about a little bit of your history, since I've not had the honor of seeing you perform yet.
Oh, well,
She's a star here. She probably would be embarrassed for me to say that, but she's like she's been in a lot of shows this year, and she's a favorite.
I love that.
She's
sure.
spectacular. Wow. She really dives into each character and works off of like the person who's on stage with them. I feel like a connection is always there when I walk on stage with her.
Oh, Emma, thank you.
And she's just a very sensitive actress. And this part that she's playing is especially sensitive, and I knew that I needed somebody that would be able to respond to that, and who could handle such a sensitive character with sensitivity. If I'm saying that word way too much, but but still, you know what I mean. Like these kind of roles could be done in a crude, or just in a way that, that's just not fair, or to the character. And like Emma said, these are not just one note characters, and I wanted to make sure that we had people that can find all the layers to it, even if we can't always reveal all the layers all at once.
Right.
But and Audrey is certainly one of the most mysterious characters that you're just kind of wondering,
so
what is
Audrey
her
Strange?
Audrey Strange.
And in line of wives, is she?
She's number one.
Number one. Got it.
Yes,
in many ways. Yes, I think.
And were you familiar with this production at all before you auditioned, or
not at all? I've honestly had a little bit of a lower opinion of Agatha Christie.
Okay.
Because I've never worked on an Agatha Christie. That was
going to be my next question. I'm glad that you shared that with us.
Last year, I assistant directed at Footlighters, and I was very sad to not have been on stage. I couldn't believe that I decided to assistant direct instead of audition. And I knew that I would love to work with Chris Diehl. He's the king of Agatha. Yes. I've almost worked with him before, and we won't go into that right now. But I'm really grateful to be able to be under his direction. He has a very in the most constructive sense, a very critical eye, and he really wants the show to be exactly what his vision is, and it only because he can see it so clearly, and then he's able to express that to us, and that's amazing as an actor to know what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, the text gives you enough, but it's very helpful to know the meaning behind it for the entire show. When you're just looking at your own lines, you're focused on what you're doing, but getting blocked on stage is, I mean, it's been we're done almost.
We're
we're for the meat of it, we are done.
And your production doesn't open until the 29th of August.
Right. Well,
So you're in a good spot.
They still have to be off book.
Yes.
So as you know, that's a journey in itself.
Yes, it is.
So that's where the real fun begins, because then, and I really and I'm glad to hear you say that, Veronique, because sometimes you sit and you're like, should I just let them keep going, or should I say something here? Should I stop them? Am I not letting them have enough freedom to explore some of these scenes? And hopefully, I feel like there's freedom within a framework.
Yes.
I'm hoping that's kind of what my goal is, that I show them what I want, and then within that, I kind of let them go.
I think
with maybe sometimes pushing them in certain directions at certain times, but I always want it to be a collaboration. I've had directors that have just told me, this is what you're doing, and if you challenge them, it's almost like they just don't hear you.
Yeah.
And I've been in that situation as an actor, and I never want to put my actors in that situation. So I try, and even if they ask me something and I know that it's not what I want, I try not to shut them down immediately, and always want to work it with a compromise, because you don't want your actors to go on stage hating something that they're supposed to do, that you want them to do, and they do not want to do it.
And sometimes in the process, it's nice for them to find that direction there, maybe from you. And maybe if you know that they're going to get there eventually, it will help them to absorb that during that process. I've had a great experience with Chris. I've only acted a couple of times, and you were the director of the first production that I was in. So I appreciate that. And I was an adult, very much older, had never acted. I'd been a performer, as a musician, but the kids were very involved. And so Chris and I had the opportunity to work there, and it was a fantastic experience. So I hear what you're saying, because there was a lot of nerves on my part, because I was not a trained actor per se. I didn't mind being on stage, things of that nature, but I felt like you gave us the opportunity to be a part of that character while giving us the directions that were needed. You allowed us to give it a little bit of our personality and help us to find those parts or those characters. So,
well, that's great.
I appreciate that you do that, and I think being an actor as well has helped.
Yeah, yes. and I can tell you that the nerves never really leave you. With every new production that you're in as an actor, you feel like you're starting over. You're just on the ground floor again, and so I know that, so every time I work with people that I've worked with many times, like Emma, I'm always amazed that when she seems like, she's like, was that okay? Or am I doing all right? No, I'm like, of course, like, I've worked with you so many times, like, you're brilliant. How did they not know that? But you have to be told these things.
That's good, though, if you know that your actors are feeling that with each time. I mean, I know that as a performer, like if I go out and I don't feel the excitement or the nervousness, something's probably not right. That energy is really what gets us out there. So who else do we have in the cast? How large is the cast, and are there other people you want to mention?
It is, I believe, 13.
Okay.
It's a rather, substantial
That is.
cast for a play.
Yeah.
And especially for this, rather small, intimate space. I don't think there's ever a scene where everybody is on stage. I think it's the curtain call. It's basically the first time everybody's on stage at the same time. But we have several people that are kind of mainstays here at Riverside, like Rory Dyer, who I've worked with before, and she's wonderful. She plays Lady Tresillian. She's the kind of matriarch of the place that we're at. So she it's her home that she's coming to, and she's she's a very, very colorful character.
Love her.
It's perfect because she's the president of Riverside Community Players.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you for mentioning
Thank you for bringing that up. That's fantastic.
Yes. And help me out. We have a Mark Anthony Flynn who plays. In fact, he was in our. If you saw the Poirot double bill here, he was in that along with Emma. Also was in that, and he plays Neville. We've already talked about Neville, and. Who else? Ralph Griffey is playing our Irish butler. We have a lot of accents in this show.
That's a brilliant
as
thing.
typical Agatha Christie. We have Scottish. Yeah, we have Scottish. We have Irish, and we have lots of
various English.
Various English, yes, for sure.
Accents.
Yes, and we have a few people from that were recently in
Man of La Mancha.
Man of La Mancha,
Yes,
that's right.
Including Rory. She played Sancho. And then we have Marlon Kane, who played Dr. Carrasco in Man of La Mancha. And then Aaron
Ramos.
Thank you. And Aaron Ramos, who was a very terrifying Inquisition member, muleteer. Yes. He had a mask on the entire time. And now we get to see his sweet face as the sergeant. He is such a dear. I love him.
Adorable.
So it sounds like you have a pretty experienced cast.
Yeah.
Any newbies or everyone?
Well, Allison Harris, she has, I believe, only done one other show.
Okay.
And it was A Murder's Announced here at Riverside Community Players. So another Agatha Christie. So she's come out, and I'm thrilled to have her. She's excited to be back on the stage. And Mark Robertson is I don't know if he's ever done a show at Riverside.
He's directed Christmas Carol, and he had to step in as Cratchit.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. But he's playing our inspector, Inspector Leach, and then we have Jay Ferris.
Okay.
And I've never worked with him before, and I think this is his first show.
Yes.
At Riverside. And he's playing Angus McWhirter. And he's one of the most interesting characters too. He has a lot of scenes with Audrey, and he's the one that gives the show its title. Kind of the general conceit of the show is Angus's, where he says he thinks murder mysteries are done all wrong, where he says the murder should be at the end instead of the beginning, and that the most interesting parts are all the things that lead up to a murder. And he's kind of like, Scream years later, where characters in Scream are talking about the tropes of their own genre that they're in, and that's exactly what Angus is doing, decades earlier, where he's talking about murder mystery tropes and his own theory about murder mysteries, and basically setting the audience up for what they're about to see, really.
And I would say that with this one, actually speaking of that, I feel that this one, each of our characters is very much what I would call a murder mystery trope, but with such detail. Because Agatha Christie didn't really, this was years before Scream. This was years before, the Prom Queen, the
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Exactly. So I think what she did was she is the queen of mystery and murder mystery. And what she does with each of the characters now, thinking about it, it's very much that she could have given Kay just such a one note, Audrey you're just mysterious, whatever. And then Angus, even like Angus and Audrey, you can kind of see the mystery between them. But again, she delve into it. She delve into her thought process and really gave us such amazing work to work with. And
I don't think you know where this is going. No. I feel like in intermission, people are going to be like, "Where is this going? What's going to happen?" It's interesting, but you just don't see like with the typical murder mystery. You think of people, like I said, sitting around drinking tea. Somebody dies. An inspector's on the scene. They interrogate everybody, and then you have a solution at the end where he gives the big solution. Mm-hmm. That is not what this is at all. So if that's what you think you're coming to, you'll be pleasantly surprised, I think. So, because at a certain point, you're just going to be like, where is this going? What are these characters? And you really are not sure. And that's what I love about it. One of the things that I love about it.
What I'm excited about is, I wouldn't say that I'm a Agatha Christie aficionado, but I grew up watching various different Poirot movies or series. And so, you kind of have the popular ones, I guess I'll say that. And you kind of have exactly like you say, the formula. What I'm excited about this is I know nothing about it. And so like I might have a preconceived notion in that it's Agatha Christie. So I'm going to be looking for those things, but I don't know what happens. When I see any other Agatha Christie, I know what happens. So I'm critiquing the performance or the delivery of it. So I'm excited for you guys in that your audience gets to not only see your wonderful performances, but they get to learn about this actual production that doesn't have, say, the popularity as some of the other stuff. So that's got to be fun as actors to kind of know that you have the ability to create that character per se, and that you haven't looked at 15 other adaptations of it, if that makes sense.
And even since there are, I mean, I tried to watch the BritBox one, and I don't know if we should say that Angus is not in that.
Yes, there's so much that is actually like they've added too much. What I feel is a little like this one, like how I think Chris picked the perfect, where it's the amount of characters you want to like invest in. It's not like other little mini stuff that you're like, wait, hold on, where are we going with this? But
it's not. It is. I think it's beyond a murder mystery. It is that meta kind of. I mean, and especially in this space. I mean, with all the sound, I know Chris keeps telling us to be louder in rehearsal because we're going to have outdoor sea sounds. And gulls.
It's called Gull's Nest, so we got to have gulls.
Well, let's transition into that because of this is our first episode here, and we have not seen a production. That's me. Sorry. I would love to know, how are you going to accomplish that in the round, and how much of the audio and the video and costuming and props and things of that nature are involved to get the story across?
Well, we're going to do our best as far as, the round goes. We have Patricia Scarborough is right out there. She's working on our wonderful stage floor, because that's one of the things that can be a star at Riverside Community Players, is a great stage floor, because everybody's kind of surrounding it and looking down on it. So we're outside. So we have a little grass. We have some patio. We have the wonderful Carrie Jones, who is a brilliant scenic artist who does work at UCR and also Rialto Community Players, and she's done stuff for me at Chino Community Theater. But she's wonderful, and she's going to help create some there's not a whole lot of places where we can put kind of a backdrop,
right?
But we do have one little place that we can show, the water and the hotel across the way that we talk about so much, and then Kylie Reeves.
Yes, I do.
So she's done so much with me, and I drug her to this show. And she's going to work some of her lighting magic, and to try to make it as we have we have an impending storm in one scene that I really love. So we're going to have a lot of thunder and lightning, and so we're going to do our best. This is not the Sphere. So there's we're a little limited to what we can do in that regard, but we're going to try to do our best as far as to make it as atmospheric as possible and evoke the outdoor setting.
Yeah.
And to go with what Veronique was saying earlier about your direction, like to just kind of give you even more credit where you need it, is that you have such a critical eye in seeing where we've been too long, because that's the thing. And in the round, you have to be consistently moving so everyone can feel and see what that specific character is doing and feeling and going through. And like we were discussing earlier, you, Chris, bring up discussion versus, I think, an argument. I think that's a big thing that a lot of directors have a hard time with. It becomes either an argument or a discussion. With Chris, it's always a discussion. It's always, oh, hey, I think we need to move you, or we need to do this. And you have such a great eye for the round. And I feel so comfortable. And I like, not only with the actors, but with you, like, it's hard. It is extremely hard, I feel, to be in the round. And I think what the best thing is he will consistently move throughout rehearsals. Like one time he'll just be at one spot, and then other time, like he'll move. Like I think
become an audience member at each part of the theater to understand how it's being received.
As an actor, you almost have to, and thank you for saying that. But as an actor, you almost have to be able to float outside yourself and see the whole production, because if you don't, you just, like, there are times where I said, whoever I'm talking to, I've seen your back for the last 5 minutes, and
it's a beautiful back, but
but if you're an actor and you're kind of in the zone, you're not going to think of those things necessarily. So, but you do in this theater, and you kind of have to drum it into some people's heads that you just always have to. The audience is really part of the show here, and you really have to take the audience into account at all times. And it's that's true for anything theater, but especially here.
Your acting is. I mean, you can't hide behind the set. You can't hide behind anything. You're
right out there.
You're right out there.
Mm-hmm.
I
sometimes they're within inches from you. Like if you're sitting, on a little table on the side of the stage, they could be just an inch from you. And so that's even true of our props.
Right.
We have to make sure our props, if they're reading a newspaper, it can't be the Daily Bulletin, with a pasted headline on. It has to look real.
Yeah.
And so it challenges you for sure. And thankfully I have a great crew that's
Did you mention who's doing costuming?
Rory is she? Yes,
fabulous.
She has such an eye for this period too, and in fact, behind you right now is the costume, and if you go in there, it's almost like it suddenly all pops out. It's
like
amazing
Narnia.
how much,
and it's dedicated to her father.
Yes,
it's the Dyer costume library.
Mm-hmm.
So by your reaction, I'm assuming you've worked with her before, and you don't really need to say anything to me because I saw your reaction when you said her name, Chris. So, but I mean, tell me more about how you've worked with her before and what she's been able to accomplish. And
well, I first worked with Rory as a costumer, and she costumed me in Little Women at Redlands Footlighters back in 2022.
Okay.
And she was just, she's lovely. And I say this with so much love. She's the most curmudgeonly, lovely lady. And she is just got so much on her plate. She cares so much about this theater and does so much for it.
Yes.
Usually she'll come out and she'll do the greeting welcome to everybody. But when she's in a show, she will give that up, hopefully. She, especially doing this show, being in it and costuming, I've never really seen her do that before. It's either one or the other.
Well, she doesn't have to worry about blocking for this one. She's in a wheelchair the whole time, so she just gets pushed around.
Exactly. That's what, yes.
She actually, the Christmas Carol I did here, she was the narrator and was the costumer. Just to continue how spectacular this woman is. She, I was lucky enough to play Belle, which is Scrooge's younger lover. And she, from scratch, sewed this gorgeous dress. And I was so obsessed. And I was like, is there any way I could get it? And she was so sweet. She let me buy it. But again, it's just like Chris said, she has such an eye for each era, and also very, Chris gets people who are very critical just as he is, so that he can get the best of the best. Yeah. And even the costumes that she has had us try on just recently are perfect. Even just discussing, she was talking even about the length of some dress. She's like, I don't even know about this. Is it too long? Is it too short? Blah, blah, blah. She's very, very particular. And even just even though she's in this show, she's still seeing each character for who they are and what they would have. I would say Kay is very fashion forward. She very much is probably reading every magazine she can get and making sure that she's on the trends. She'd probably be an influencer if she was here today. Mm-hmm. But with Audrey, it's a very, different, Rory's very particular about making sure every character has their particular style, because it just, sometimes you go into a show and you watch, and if the costumes aren't what they are, it's like, well, I'm not involved. And even with props, like you were saying, if we had some a magazine that said TMZ, it's like, well, okay, or what era are we in? But
it's very easy to get pulled out of the story, So if everything is right, You just don't want to do that. I hate this phrase when people say, well, if they're looking at this, then we're doing something wrong. Well, somebody's always looking at that.
Yeah.
There's always an eye that's going to something.
And you're in the round.
And if you can do it, like sometimes your budget, you can't always do everything you want to do, but I always like to see that people have tried.
Yeah.
And I feel like we try. We at least try.
And what's amazing for me to hear, and being a part of so many different of these episodes, but also productions at the 7th Street Theater, that community and the people that it takes to make it happen. Just before I came here, I was helping with one of the children's, which was just like a week-long camp thing, and then they do a little production at the end. Who knows? One of those 25 kids may be that next, superstar actor that's out there. And so you hear these stories at all these community theaters across not only Inland Empire, but all over the place in Europe, because we know we have a lot of listeners in Europe. Sorry, I'm doing a real straightforward plug here. But we love hearing about those people that take theater to the next level, right? Make community, and allow the patron to come in and forget everything that's going on and be immersed in this Agatha Christie production or Seussical or whatever it may be. You want to just forget about that stuff. And so costuming, lighting, audio, set, props, all of those things are so important. So
may I mention a couple people that
I was just going to ask you, is there other people that we need to talk about?
Well, we have Philip Kaczynski, who's playing Thomas Royd.
We love Phil.
We have Charlotte McKenzie, who she is another one who's done so many things here, and she's Collie. She plays Lady Tressilian's companion.
Okay.
And she's very funny.
She's a wonderful board member as well.
Love that.
Yes. And I also have Takira Williams. She's playing Dr. Wilson. And I think that is it. I think I hit everybody else, and I apologize to anybody in the cast if I forgot you.
Cast, crew, and especially this theater as well, which we're so very excited to have been able to do our first episode here. So you guys open the 19th, and run
29th.
29th. Sorry, that's why I probably should have looked down here at my notes. And it goes through September 14th. And tell us how we can get tickets.
Well, you can go on the Riverside Community Players website. You can also find them on Facebook or Instagram, and they always have like a QR code that they post on their social media things. So it'll take you right to be able to purchase the tickets.
Wonderful.
Or you can call them, and I'm sure the number is on
Yep.
that piece of postcard you have
Our
there.
box office is area code 951-686-4030. Again, that number is 951-686-4030.
And the times have changed as well.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Because I'm really appreciative of how much we've been doing it on Facebook and social media. But it's 7:30 for the evening shows and 2:30 for the matinees.
And they used to be,
I believe, 8 was the evening, and then 2 was the matinees.
They will move to the 30s.
Yeah, the 30s.
Yes.
So make note of that. Please get your tickets as soon as possible. We want you to obviously listen to this episode and learn more details, but we want you to come. If you're here in the Inland Empire, for those of you that are in Europe, send us a note. We've got all kinds of ways to contact us through our social media. You can text us, you can email us. Let us know what's going on in your country, because we want to learn about community theater outside of the U.S. as well. We want to thank all of our listeners, as always, for tuning in. We want to thank our guest here today for spending some time to give us a little bit more about Towards Zero. Chris, anything you want to leave us with?
No, except come to the show. It's going to be great. Check out the Riverside Community Theater, Riverside Community Players social media account, because they do. We will be having a video. Kind of promo of our show.
Love those.
So if you cannot come to see it, if you are one of the European listeners or whatever, and you check out the video, you can at least get a little taste of the show and what we're doing.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Mm-hmm. Ladies, anything else you want to?
I do have something real quick, Tony.
Yes,
I had a realization last show doing Man of La Mancha. It wasn't really my favorite experience. I love that show a lot. And as I was going out there to do it, I realized it was a show full of members, not members. They're season ticket holders.
Okay.
And I realized, this is like Netflix. What we're doing, this is a subscription service. You don't have to watch Netflix for the month that you don't have to come to this show, this Man of La Mancha. But there are people that do. There are people that click on the latest Netflix thing that they're going to see. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it is what it is. And I just think it's really interesting to think of what we do at community theater as a subscription service to get an idea to sell more of that season ticket holder. It's a good deal, the season tickets. It's like $40, maybe $65 for tickets to 5 shows, which are $20 a pop.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat that.
You can't.
I mean,
And it's community theater. I think the biggest thing for my last thing to say is that this is community theater. Please come and support. This is where most people start and get their passion and their love. And I am so grateful for such an amazing and talented, welcoming cast. And thank you, Chris, for this opportunity again. And yeah, I think this is you had said earlier, it is not the formula that Agatha usually does. So I think to, get a fresh take on her. If you may not like formula, this is not formula. And to enjoy that kind of aspect of her.
And it plays with the formula too,
yes,
which is fun. And can I just say one thing? I just wanted to give a little plug to community theater in general, because sometimes it gets a bad rap. And because it is the place where people start, and because it's in perhaps a smaller community, or it doesn't get the same funding or budgets that professional theaters get, or the Geffen or wherever, Pantages. I've seen some of the best theater ever that I've seen. I've seen Broadway, I've seen the West End, I've seen professional shows in LA. One of the performances here, Terra Nova, that they did quite a few years ago, was incredible. It was one of the best acted shows I've ever seen, and it was just amazing. And I've seen so many amazing community theater productions, and that people are shocked that the cast isn't getting paid. And so I felt like I had to just
absolutely. We want to plug community theater not only in the Inland Empire, obviously from where this podcast started over in 7th Street in Chino, but the other drama departments. But seeing all the people that are listening to our episodes all across the country, but all across the world, we know there's an audience out there. We know there's a bit bigger audience that hasn't had the pleasure of experiencing some of these moments. I'm a sports guy, I guess is what you would say. That's why I grew up, right? I didn't start acting until I was in my late 40s, as we mentioned. My children were all involved, and that's how I got involved.
And they're extremely talented.
Well, I'm biased, and I'll receive that, share that with them, and appreciate that. And they are talented, and I am very proud of that. But I'm proud of all the friends that I've made over the course of this, just under 10 years that I've been involved. But I don't see a future that I'm not involved one way or another in community theater. My job is in tech, so I get to put on shows all the time. But there's nothing like this morning going in, firing up that system, and seeing 25 kids, probably most of them their first performance ever, and their families there just absorbing this on this beautiful stage with lights and in all the number of productions that I've seen. So I thank you so much, Chris, for bringing that up, because I think it's so important, and I don't think we get as much love as we should on the community theater side, but we're growing, and people are telling 2 friends and telling 2 more friends, and so on and so forth.
You can find love there too. I mean, I'll say some people are a result of that.
We've had some marriages at Chino Community Theater, and I don't know if they've had them here, but yeah, it certainly brings people together.
So thank you, everyone. Community theater brings people together. You're going to see an amazing production here. Thank you so much to our guests. Thank you so much to Riverside for supporting the community theater world. And listeners, come get your tickets. Come be a part of this. Go to wherever you're from. Go support your local theater, community theater, at your schools. Go see your kids' plays. Enjoy it. Support it. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, Kirk, for letting us be your debut.
Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Steps to the Stage Inland Empire. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a review. It really helps. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or visit our website. Steps to the Stage was created by Joey Rice and Kirk Lane. Logo created by Marley Lane. Original music by Joey Rice. Executive producer, editor, and sometimes host, Kirk Lane.